Alright, greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Mac. This is Let's Play of the Devil. In the last episode, interviews, we're running out of avenues of evidence to pursue, we're kind of in a bind. There's only one thing left that we can do, and that's double check to make sure that we've touched everything. Check the crack in the floor, I'm glad that I caught this. What's the story with this anyway? Some kind of fault in the foundation? I don't know. I've never seen that crack before. Might want to get those eyes checked. There's nothing wrong with my vision. This crack just must have been created during my most recent hibernation. How? Did David drop a weight? A bunch of times over and over in the same spot? Alright, let's refocus here. So there's some kind of hidden door behind your bunk bed, huh? Essentially, though a bunk bed would imply a second or third. How do we open it? One moment. I see. Got it open already? I cannot open this door. Why? It is a Tethys Basics Strudicure. That anti-hack feature in the name is real? It's a closed system, Adonai. The hell am I supposed to do now? Strange, there was an if-then toggle enabled in the security parameters. I don't follow. When Father last adjusted the settings here, he made it so that the door would never open so long as I was hibernating. And he made it so that I was the only one who could wake her up. Meaning this is a door only I can open. It'll be a 6-character password, some combination of numbers or letters. Did you and Father have any influential moments in your life that revolved around a 6-letter word? Nothing comes to mind. Is there a code word that he knew only I could learn? I need to look at details though. No dice. Could it be your birthday? Or his? If David set the password to something as dumb as that... Wait, no. Other way around. Could the password be your birthday or his? If David set the password to something as dumb as that, I'd never forgive him. As you say, Adonai. No, he would have picked a code whose significance was only obvious after the fact. I know what it is, and Morgan's going... Wait, okay, so I don't actually know what it is, but... Is it Morgan's weight? Something only she would know? I wish they would stop locking me into this. That didn't work either. They're going to give me a hint now, aren't they? Let 112558. But that's the password to get in to the robot. We can't actually do anything about it. Perhaps a deep breath would help you focus. Adonai! It's not like I'm taking a multiple choice test, Sarah. Either I know the answer or I don't. I see. So do you know the answer, Adonai? I'm getting there. Adonai. Adonai. And now the game's making fun of me because I don't know how to spell this word that I've never learned. I thought some quiet might help after all. It's opening! What was the password, Adonai? You'd never guess. The thing is, I figured it out almost. I figured it out on my second actual guess, but I didn't remember how it's spelled. Did feel a bit of character, out of character. David utilizing so much cloak and dagger tech. And I've definitely been struggling with the idea of him doing home improvement. But one step in here and it all makes sense. It's a panic room. Scary. A panic room is a place for rich people to hide in when people start bouncing bricks off their window. They're typically not even on the blueprints. So when Noble built this penthouse for one of their executives, someone slipped this into the mix. It's remained in Noble's blind spot ever since. All David had to do was repurpose it. Make sure you're capturing all of this. I don't want to miss my one chance because of a discovery technicality. I understand, but you needn't specify. My memory is flawless. I can play back visuals, sounds, sensations. I can even give detailed reports on air particulates. You mean you can smell? Better than any human, and some canines. So does it smell stale in here to you? Stale? It doesn't to me. Almost like someone's been in here recently. Almost like someone visits here frequently. Alright, let's try booting up the computer. You don't think the console is password protected? 2 physical doors, a 64-digit code, a half-ton Android, and a secret phrase. If David set a password on his PC after all that, I'm going back to the morgue to have a word with him. Good, it's already signed in. You're looking for camera footage? I'd also settle for a note plainly stating that he feared for his life. What am I doing? Here, you search for video files that will probably be timestamped and formatted for short-range devices. I have the subfolder. The cameras stream live data constantly, but the files are clipped at fairly regular intervals. Once every week, it seems. Please don't let it be the actual week. The most recent video file here has footage going back 8 days. It was accessed yesterday at around 4 PM. You were asleep then, so the only person who could get in here at that time is David himself. Alright, let's see it then. Of course, it's just that I am having difficulty. Try double-clicking. I've been trying to open the files from the moment I discovered them, Adonai, but they are encrypted. Damn it, David. You leave me enough clues to get this far, but you won't let me use your computer. What's the brand on the encryption program? If I rush a subpoena, they might have a backdoor I could bluff them into. These files were not encrypted with any commercially available tool. This appears to be Father's own work. Shit. If David Asher handwrote the encryption on these files, there's no one alive who could... Hey, was Dawes just flattering you back there? Or is your processing power really that special? I don't know why. Can you break his encryption? Yes or no? With enough time. And how much time would that be? I would estimate 2 to 6 hours. That's a 4-hour window. No matter how sophisticated, encryption is still just the code that must be deciphered. And when deciphering any code, process proceeds exponentially, which makes it particularly difficult to determine the amount of time required to complete the process. 2 to 6 hours. I don't have any better options. Get started. I started 4 minutes and 23 seconds ago. Finally showing some initiative. You've been talking to me this whole time. I have the ability to analyze data in parallel by utilizing subconscious processes, so long as the work required is rote. So you're doing it in the back of your head? Actually, I'm speaking to you in the back of my head. I could give the decryption process my full undivided attention, but I would become unresponsive. Hey, that's a pretty nifty feature. I'll have to keep that in mind. They're definitely flinging some zingers at each other here and there. Alright, can you take this show on the road, or do we have to rip this computer out of the wall and find a battery? I have copied the encrypted files and will work on them as we travel. We can leave whenever you're ready. Still can't believe David let me get this far just to shut the door in my face at the last second. But he did let me get this far. And the computer's not the only thing in here. The cabinets are a lot less eye-catching than his computer. But knowing David, that's all the more reason to check. Lots of paperwork, bonds and holdings, a platinum bar. His birth certificate might be nearly as valuable. Can't imagine what people would pay to steal David Ash's identity. And down here at the bottom, a binder. Noble's logo on the front and in the middle. Enough pages to dwarf one of those phone box books you see in period pieces. They're masking it in legalese even on the table of contents, but basically, this is his employment contract. We're a lawyer. Can we read legalese? A binder containing the full text of David Ash's employment contract with Noble Electronics. Details, compensation, grounds for dismissal, definitions for what constitutes a breach of contract, and how arbitrations would be handled. Not a light read. And it's in evidence. Although we don't know what this game is like with its evidence, it's possible that... Well, I don't really remember the original Case Zero. Hold on to this for me. It must be very important if you're giving it to me. It's certainly very heavy. Was anything else in there? Expecting an updated copy of his will to show up? It is a possibility, isn't it? Maybe in a corny old murder mystery. A widely beloved and respected genre for over 2 centuries of... There is something else. Your papers. That Evangeline Morgan be given immediate and complete ownership of the android designated as Sarah. I'm sorry, I keep getting mixed up on which one is which. It's dated to a few weeks back. Had he already made up his mind about all of this? If he had, why'd he hide this where no one else could find it? Was I just a backup plan? Well, at least we've got something a bit more concrete than Starling's word now. A written Word document declaring that Evangeline Morgan is to be given absolute ownership of the android Sarah, effective immediately, signed and dated by David Asher over 2 weeks ago. Fortunately, it's a tax-free transaction. Okay, good to know. Her word should be plenty, shouldn't it? Not if people realize how precious you are. As a collector's item. You had such a nice moment going there and you ruined it, you sociopath. We're yet to meet one person who knows what the hell you are. But Noble could have easily argued that you fall under private technology or physical holdings. Unless I had something like this. It's good that you do then. I'm glad that father wanted me to go with a friend of his. Yeah. This'll give me a huge tax write-off when I donate you to a for-profit college. You could have at least picked a charitable institution. It's just an old saying. All colleges have been for-profit since the 60s. That doesn't make me feel any better. You can cheer up in the car. Hail us a ride to the courthouse. Priority. There is an upcharge at this hour of priority transportation. That's irritating. But I'd like to have more than just a few minutes to prepare once we get there. The upcharge is a multiplier of 5.7. I'll prepare on the way over. Very good, Adonai. I'm so annoyed that it took me a bit... Hello? They don't have really good loading screens. I've noticed a tendency for the game to lock up presumably when it's loading its next scene. Or maybe when it's loading these screens of 5:48 p.m. July 1st, 2086. If I'm really lucky, I might just live that long. But old people break down. Does it excite you, going into courtrooms? What do you mean? You don't feel the tension in the air as the audience murmurs among themselves? You don't feel a fiery sense of justice rising in your gut as the prosecution smirks at your ragtag assembly of witnesses? Do you really think this is going to be like some kind of movie where the good guys save the day? Probably not. But that would be nice if it were. At least she's honest. What's your deal anyway? Did David train you off a movie marathon from hell or something? We did watch films together if that's what you're asking, though he was rarely the one who suggested it. So you were the aggressor. What's an android get out of watching a flick anyway? What do I get? Why do you do it? What's your reason? I'm not sure how to answer your question. Never mind, forgot what I was talking to. I like the performances. Sure, there you go. Got a crush on Humphrey Bogart or something? He's a handsome man. But it's not the actors I like so much as their performance. The truth is, besides father, I have very little experience when it comes to people. I hadn't noticed. I read the net, I watch people and what they share of their lives. But it's all so subtle, so hard to follow. There are so many unspoken rules that can't be taught, only learned, and I often struggle to grasp them. That's very relatable. You're all so complex, so detailed. But the characters on the screen are exaggerated, larger than life. The actors enunciate, their body language is precise and meaningful. Their faces are bright and softly lit, and their eyes are... It's fiction, so these characters and their stories, they have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And the people on the screen don't ask anything of you except your attention. You can't disappoint them or make them feel awkward. You can just watch and learn. But what about you, Adonai? What about me? Do you like movies? Yeah, sure, back when I was a kid. Really? Who was your favourite director? What was your favourite film? It was a long time ago. I don't remember. 6:05 p.m. July 1st, 2086. Did we get any prep work done? State Building. Floor 48. You have a courthouse that goes up 48 floors. Things are quieter than I expected here at the courthouse. Though I've always felt courthouse is a bit of a misnomer. Government building is probably the best way to describe these towers. All-encompassing and impenetrably vague. 100 floors of officials and documents and paper-pushing queues, with a couple dozen courtrooms squeezed in along the way. Didn't think I'd be arguing in court when I woke up today. Didn't think my friend would be dead or that he'd have thrust an android onto my lap either. I could just walk in there and concede. Emma would be irritated and more than a little confused, but I could play it off as an exercise in grief. The android would complain loudly, of course, but I wouldn't have to listen to it. Now that it's registered in my name, I could probably just order the damn thing to reset its memory. But I haven't done that. And I guess I don't plan to. Why? Short episode, but we'll find. I feel like we're ramping up to the courthouse, and I want to do something special when we actually start things up, so Until next time guys, take care, I'll see you all around.